when you were doing the podcast, you kind of put on, I mean, the audiobook, did you put on a little, I am doing my voice now?
I think maybe at the beginning I found it incredibly difficult to not self-edit constantly. I would say a sentence and I'd be like, no, that wasn't quite right, I can do that better. And then I would go back. And
then you get no progress.
You make no progress at all. You actually just have to stop interrupting the flow and just go with it. So I think probably past the first chapter, which I then did again at the end when I was more comfortable, it was all pretty much my own voice.
Bebe did the audiobook for my novel, and she's already got lots of lovely, I mean, my agent was just so sweet about it.
Really?
Yeah, she listened last night. She's like, you've got to listen. I'm still too scared to listen, but I am going to.
You honestly don't have to. I let Horatio listen to a chapter that they sent me when I was worried about my voice, and I listened to it back on my headphones, hated it. I was like, oh my God, I've done too much now to actually go back and change it. And then I listened to it again with somebody else there, with Horatio there, and I was like, God, that actually sounds really good.
It's so weird if you watch something with someone, because I did exactly the same for Sunrise, for the harrowing edit of that for the last 2 weeks. And at first I just watched it on my own, and then it was kind of the deadline was approaching and I had to watch it, and so Alfie was with me, and it was like I was watching something different. I was like, I must be watching a different someone else.
Exactly. I think it's probably because it suddenly becomes real when you're there with somebody else, whereas when you're listening to something on your own or watching something on your own, you're just like hypercritical.
But also when you've gone past the point where you can actually adapt and change things, and it's just necessary to make a decision and say yes or no, rather than kind of go back and change huge parts of it.
Exactly.
It's way easier to be like, yeah, that will do.
Exactly.
That will do.
And to realise that these minute changes that you would probably make and that you would think would be huge changes aren't going to make any kind of a difference.
No.
So once I got into the flow of it, I loved it. And I wrote a little thing on Patreon about it. But it was just honestly one of the most wonderful experiences. I didn't realise how much I would enjoy it. I can't tell if it's because I love the book so much.
I think it's quite an intimate thing to do, because you're, especially in the little cocoon you were in.
Yeah.
It's your space.
Yeah. And I just felt like the best part of acting is when you are really doing it. Like the stuff around it when you're waiting or you have to get up really early or you're getting dressed or like, you know, any of those bits, like some of that can be fun, some of it can be really boring. But the part of acting that makes it really, really great is when you're actually like performing lines or scenes that you really enjoy and you get to like play. I just said play. I just said play. Please forgive me. I didn't mean like
to play.
I don't mean play. I'm not that kind of a person. But when you get to like just be silly, I'm just gonna stop. I'm just gonna stop trying to find that word.
Silly and play.
But it was like for 3 days. Okay, shut up, you fucking assholes. Shut up. I'm not that kind of an actor. I don't play. Okay. I perform. Okay, I perform my craft.
You become the character.
Yes, and
I don't.
I read the words on the page.
No, I literally be me.
Yeah. You're a beer. You are a beer.
Yeah.
You're not like a Meryl Streep or a Kate Winslet, who me and Horatio have now decided there are 2 categories of actor: beers or actors. You know, and you're a beer.
What's Kate Winslet?
Oh, she's an actor. She's
and
an
what's
actor.
Meryl Streep?
Actor.
So who's a beer?
A beer. Who would a good example of a beer be?
Robert De
Pitt?
Niro.
Ryan
Ryan
Gosling.
Gosling is such a beer.
Robert De Niro. But what about a woman though?
Let me think of a beer who's a woman.
Judi Dench.
No, she's an actress.
Judi Dench, I would say, is an actor.
All
No.
that lot, the old lot who are all really
There's
well
something
trained,
about
all
like
that.
Roddery type people. Where
Olivia
it's
Colman?
like
Beer.
Olivia Colman is a beer. Absolutely,
Okay,
she's
cool.
a beer.
Do you know that she's in? Because I've just rewatched the entire series of The Office series.
Yes.
She's in The
Yeah,
Office.
yeah, yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I love
And
that
she's
episode.
exactly as she is
Exactly.
forever.
So she is a beer. And beers tend to have slightly less range. Like Meryl Streep can be a million different people, but she's acting in every role that she does. Acting amazingly, but you can tell that she's acting. Whereas there's some Americans are more beers. And British are more actors. But I would say that you're a beer, and I try and be a beer too.
You're a beer because I'm not trained.
Because I'm not trained. Exactly. Thanks, babe, for the reminder.
Unskilled
Thank you for
worker.
reminding me that I am an unskilled, unemployed actress. Anyway, reading it for 3 days, it just felt like I had so much power, but also just so much freedom to just like do it. It was like all of the best parts without any of the shitty parts.
Yeah.
And I got to wear the same thing every day, and I just got to turn up and do it, and it was in my control, and it was scary, but like you had trusted me with it. and I love the source material so much. Plus, it was so personal and beautiful. It was a wonderful experience, and it was such a high that I then felt so depressed all weekend.
Oh, I'm
I was
sorry.
like, I'm just not gonna ever get to do that again.
Yes, you will.
Well, I hope
You might reach the dizzying heights that I've reached with audiobooks by, narrating children's books.
That
like,
would be a
I can't.
dream come true.
I mean, it isn't quite the same children's books, so you do have to do more accents. But
yeah,
I was quite
decided-
clear with BB, I don't do any accents.
Yeah, and you told me not to do any
Yeah,
accents.
no, I hope you didn't do any accents.
I didn't.
Oh my god, you did one chapter as an Indian.
Yeah.
No accents, BB.
Yeah. Fingers crossed we didn't throw anything in there. But no, that was wonderful. We had a great time with that. didn't we?
Yeah, it's just been quite an intense period of time because I think everything is. I'm kind of thinking, right, okay, once the book is out, I can have a break. But now I'm thinking maybe I'm not the type of person that's ever gonna feel like they can have a break. Like yesterday, Alfie's finally doing gigs again. Thank God. And he's gone away to Liverpool, and it was just me and the baby while they were at school. And I did have things to do, but the baby is quite demanding. So I ended up just walking around Westfield with him, and I bought 5 ceramic bowls.
Nice.
I don't need them.
You actually are someone that could do with more bowls. So I'm not gonna.
I do need more bowls, and I after reading this book recently, I've decided I'm getting rid of all plastic, which is a shame because I bought quite a few plastic bottles now, especially the reflux bottles. They don't do them in glass, so I am slightly fucked. But yeah, I bought like 3 new toys for the baby. He doesn't need new toys. It's not like I needed any of this stuff, but I just was quite thrown by the time suddenly and the freedom, and I tried to lean into just, being with the baby all day without being, I'm with the baby all day, every day usually, but I'm usually trying to do a million other things. And I found it really difficult. So I'm really going to try doing that more once the book is out, just, enjoy being with the baby.
Well, maybe.
That was a big noise.
Sorry. It's so funny because it's so ironic because what I was about to say was about breathing techniques, and I clearly do not possess any of them. But it was something me and Horatio have been doing recently is he was
Don't
told...
say you've been doing breathing exercises together.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I didn't think I was going to be that kind of a person, but a friend of his said that she has changed her life through something called transcendental meditation, which we're not doing. We tried that one video and I wasn't so into that. But a part of it, or something that supplements it, is a breathing technique called the Wim Hof method. Anyway, it's this gorgeous, Nordic, deep-sounding man who you just imagine as looking like, white beard and like a big Trojan, basically Neptune, king of the sea.
He climbed Everest in his shorts.
He climbed Everest in his shorts. And he holds the world record for being able to hold his breath underwater for the longest time. It's just like a 10-minute video, and you just breathe in and out, and he just tells you what to do.
Controlled hyperventilation.
And it is just amazing because if you're feeling really stressed out about something or you want to focus on a big task or whatever, you just do this 10-minute video lying down, and when you finish it, you feel so restored and so in tune with your
That's so
your
good.
body.
Maybe I'll try. I do remember another one of my 4 celebrity facts that I can't ever get out of my brain. Keira Knightley, she has to remind herself to breathe.
Oh God, of course she does. Such
She
a
does.
busy life.
She has to remind herself to breathe.
Exactly.
Poor Keira.
God, Kira, how do you keep it all together?
I did watch Pirates of the Caribbean recently. Donnie's getting through Pirates, and her performance is pretty spectacular.
Really?
No, I mean, I'm being a bitch.
Okay.
It's just amazing.
Oh, Kira, with your weird small upper body.
No, don't do. That's bullying. You can't do that.
Sorry, she is categorically one of the most beautiful women in the world. Plus, she's famed for her beauty. She's been cast in a million things because of her beauty. I can say that she's got a weirdly small upper body.
It's very small.
It's so narrow and sexy.
She's a pear.
She's a big old pear.
She's a very small pear. A tiny,
She's
like a miniature.
She's like a mutant pear that you can hold like
not
an
a mutant
upside down
pear.
candy floss.
No, she's one of the country pears. Just get off a little tree. Just it's not fully
Yeah,
ready.
yeah. It's not ripe yet. It's not ripe.
But she's ripe now because she's a mother, so she's ripened. And she's kind of been in hiding.
Yeah, she really has been. Occasionally, when you see a paparazzi photo of her, you're like, "Oh, I'm glad
she
that
is.
you're still doing well."
What were we saying? We've kind of gone off track with Keira Knightley having a small upper body.
Oh, it's funny though. It's funny. It's gorgeous, but it's weird.
Oh God.
What's your other celebrity?
Oh, my other celebrity fact is obviously my Kate Hudson one. How he'll go back to sleep. Just ignore him. Don't look at him. Don't look at him. And he'll go back to sleep. Don't look at him. Don't look at him. Is Kate Hudson needs to have make a cup of tea last all day because she just forgets where it is.
No, Jessie, we have said that before.
I know
You're
exactly. He just
crazy.
asked me. He's asking me for my top 4 celebrity facts.
And it's a cup of coffee. It's a cup of black
no,
coffee.
it's not. It's a cup of tea, BB. It's a cup of tea.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, well,
no,
I'll
it's
look it up.
Nicole Richie. It's Nicole Richie
No,
who.
I'm not talking about Nicole Richie right now.
Yeah, but I'm
talking
pretty
about-
sure Nicole Richie's the one with the black coffee.
Oh, right, okay. Well-
Nicole Richie's the one with the black coffee. I think they both actually share the
How
same
do they have
celebrity
such
fact.
white teeth? Anyway, just the black coffee stains your teeth. Anyway, the other one is that Courtney Cox and Rachel from Friends, Jennifer Aniston.
Had the same Cobb salad every day on the set of Friends.
No, not that one, but that's a good one. I'm just it was that they both did a diet of just baby food, little baby jars, just the baby food diet.
Oh my god.
So they would eat little jars of just that would be their lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if I just started being like, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna have my lunch, my 4 to 6 months smooth puree, simply sweet potato from the Sainsbury's Little Ones range.
That's my idea of a nightmare.
Two of the facts, because there's 2 people.
I think it was more Rachel rather. Jennifer Aniston. God, she hate me. It seems like I'm trying to have a power play with Jennifer Aniston.
Do you know it's something that's upsetting? You know how I told you in an episode or 2 back about the millennial, zillennial, Generation Z, Zoomer divide, and about how younger people find millennials embarrassing for certain cringy things.
Yeah.
And I've never associated you as a millennial particularly because you don't really have any of those habits. You're not like at brunch being like, oh, I'm a girl boss or anything like that. You're not that kind of a person. But
I'm
apparently,
not a girl boss.
apparently Friends, apparently liking the show Friends makes you a really cringe millennial. And I'm a Zoomer and I love Friends. I think that Friends is
I think
one of
that's
the best
couple
written
circle.
shows.
I think if you're your age and you like Friends, it's cool. But if
Yeah.
you're my age, you liked Friends when it was out.
Yes, and you don't
And
like
you
it.
still like it.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be. You're supposed to like it ironically because it's dated. But I still think categorically that some of the storylines in Friends and the writing is just exemplary.
Oh my god, the episodes are brilliant. The other thing that I've been watching lately is again because Alfie hasn't seen it, is Motherland. And the first time I watched it, I was like, it's brilliant. The second time I watched it, I honestly the episodes are so well done. But it's great watching Motherland because they're all so frantic the entire time, and I just kind of feel quite smug watching it. And I'm frantic, but I'm not that frantic. You should really, really watch it. It's great.
No, I should, shouldn't I? So Jessie did a photo shoot.
I did.
Do you want to tell us about
Do you
your
want to hold
experience?
him, Horatio, just for a second? Just because I feel like you're going to take the centre stage, aren't you? Let me just get him a toy. Oh, I've got another celebrity fact.
Yeah, because you said 4, so I was waiting for 4.
Yeah. Hi, 10. They're good out. Oh, good colours. Blue and orange.
Oh my
Hi.
It's 2 blonde boys. Coaching.
Aww. Okay. My other number 4 celebrity fact that I just can't get out of my head is that Hugh Jackman, when he wakes up in the morning, he turns to his wife, gives her a kiss, then he goes downstairs, makes her a cup of tea, then goes back upstairs, and they both read. He reads to her. He reads to her for half an hour every morning.
He reads.
He
to
reads
her.
to her.
Does she know how to read?
No, it's like a lovely couples activity.
That sounds
rather than fucking. They
horrendous.
just read. He reads to her.
If Horatio tried to read to me, I would leave. I would leave him.
Sometimes Alfie does try to read me poetry, and I really struggle.
Fuck
really struggle.
It's suspicious. It is suspicious when a man tries to read something out to you. I feel like they're trying to steal something from you, or there's an ulterior motive there.
I quite like the idea, and Alfie thought it was a really lovely thing to do. But obviously, we don't sleep together in the same bed, so it would involve me getting out of bed and going upstairs to wake him up to read to him, which feels a bit elaborate. But yeah, they're my top 4 celebrity facts.
Those are pretty good facts, to be fair. You covered actually a nice range of celebrity.
So baby food, reading in the morning, Kate Hudson's cup. What was my 4th one? No, it will come back to me. That one obviously did get on my brain.
Slip right under.
Anyway, so I'm on the cover of a magazine, BB.
Oh my goodness me.
I'm on the cover of a magazine. I'm not going to say which magazine, but I can assure you it's not a big one.
Oh yeah. You're not going to see it.
No, I think you will see it, but it's not like Cosmopolitan. You know, I'm not there.
Imagine if Jessie was on the cover of Cosmopolitan.
One day I will be on the front of Cosmopolitan magazine, okay? And I'll be talking about my sex life.
Oh, yeah. 50 tips to give him a great blowjob.
Yeah. But yeah, I had to do a photo shoot and it was very...
You're comfortable in front of the camera, aren't you,
Oh,
Jessie?
yeah. I had to say to my publicist, I said, just so I don't smile and I don't do facial expressions. And she was very supportive. But it was quite... I found it really exhausting, really exhausting.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? Because you're like being preened and prodded and yet it's just to stand there.
It's just to stand there.
And whatever. And
You're a clothes horse.
I think so much work goes into it that when you realise that you just have to stand there and make the photo look good, it's actually a weird amount of responsibility. But at the same time, it's not really about you.
It's just not about you.
Because
Like they set up everything. It's like with filming, they set up everything and then you come and you do your lines and you walk off. It's even worse than that because you just stand there and then you just pivot.
I'm honestly terrible at taking
Terrible.
photos. What kind of poses did you do?
I just did this.
Jessie's giving a very neutral expression. If you're listening, you don't get the pleasure of looking at her face.
Tried to keep my mouth closed and I said no teeth. No, I don't want my teeth being seen in public.
No.
And I tried to look whimsical, ethereal, and bland. Which is quite a good description for my personality. I feel.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, it was quite weird. I think it's the only thing that I will do that is ever like. I don't think that will happen again. So I had to kind of lean into it. And also, I said lean in too many times. It's because I watched it in Motherland. Sorry. So. Yeah, I had to wear really fancy clothes and they hired glasses for me, vintage glasses. And it was quite embarrassing because they didn't realise that I'm not wearing glasses like this. I need glasses.
Oh, I see. So they were non-prescription?
Yeah.
Oh, my
So
God.
well, obviously they're non-prescription because they can't, afford to get them my prescription. But it was really funny because then I had to just kind of like not see all day. So I couldn't see what I looked like.
Did you tell them?
Yeah, I told them, and they were beautiful vintage glasses, which is cool. But it was like I was playing a character of myself.
Yeah.
And also, it's just so funny because I was wearing such extreme clothes that, again, the costume, I just kind of felt like a weird, heightened version of myself.
That's so
Fashion
cool,
is so weird. Fashion is just so, like...
Yeah, I don't get it. I fully now have accepted. I've got past that age where I can cultivate a healthy interest in fashion. I don't get it.
It's just amazing. The joy for items of accessories and a certain type of trouser, and I do quite like how specific it is, and I think I could get into it.
People that are doing fashion, that are in kind of like photography or fashion or anything like along those lines, they tend to be very cool, sharp, funny people.
Yeah.
And I respect them because they spend their whole day doing something that I know nothing about and that I don't have much of an interest in. But they are so knowledgeable and it's so specific and they're passionate, but also seemingly quite functional. They're not like... Harsha, can you just shut up?
That was a joke.
But they are able to dedicate themselves to something really and they don't have like the kind of whimsical, annoying kind of neuroticism that like people in creative industries have, like acting and singing or writing or anything like that. They're like more functional. They have a
And
real
also
pragmatism. Oh, they could be fucking horrible, sure.
No,
but
I think you can tell a stylish person when the details, so they might be wearing quite bland colours, say, but then they've got like a very specific type of sock with that shoe, or they're just
belt.
Yeah, they might be wearing a belt.
they got a bag. They got a bag on them.
No, do you know what I mean? Like it's very. You think, oh, they look normal. They look like they're just going to the shop, whatever. But then you look at their tote bag, and it's like actually an expensive tote bag. It's not a free one from Claire's Accessories.
Oh yeah,
Or,
they got details that match. They got a belt that matches their bag, and a belt buckle on a shoe, and it just all looks great. And
Yeah.
I wish that I could pull it off. But I think also not having the body type of a lot of the kind of things that fashion is modelled on, it just kind of stuff doesn't tend to look as good on
But
me.
I'm just so relieved because it was a really nice magazine that is done a thing about sunset, and it was
Good taste. They got good taste.
and it just the clothes weren't tiny, they fit me, and it was just so nice to feel comfortable doing something, and for them kind of embracing my style and stuff, and being and just being nice to me. Whereas so much of my career, I felt that I've had to put on a
Change
different
yourself.
type of
Yeah.
outfit or like squeeze into these jeans. Do you remember we once did a photo shoot where they tried to put me in capri trousers?
Oh my God, yeah.
And I broke down and I said, I'm not wearing capri trousers, just because I found it so awkward wearing jeans. I
Oh
just
my
can't
God. And I
wear jeans.
remember, God, and that was when my acne was so bad. And they were like trying to put all this makeup on me, and it just looked fucking awful.
And do you remember in the final shot, I'm just covering myself in one of my pieces of material.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
I'm
that
just
was a
doing
fucking
this
nightmare,
like
wasn't
I'm
it?
doing right now, but like with a huge piece of material just to hide my body.
We're not naturals behind the camera. That's to say.
no,
She's not naturals.
I don't think I'm natural in front of the camera either. I do quite often like find myself.
No, you're a beer. You're a beer.
I'm a
Come on.
beer.
We've
I'm a
already
beer.
we've
Okay,
already established that.
Yeah, I'm a beer.
You're a beer, and you just got to be behind the camera.
But it was nice because obviously everyone was like wearing face masks and stuff during the photo shoot. But it was kind of, we were out in a house, and it was kind of normal.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird. And also I went to the pub. You babysat.
I did. I babysat for Jessie and Alfie as they had a lovely romantic evening.
Our
at the pub.
brother's just had a baby, and he WhatsApped us in outside a pub with their baby. Like within 2 weeks of the baby being alive, they had managed to go out. They had managed to nail parenting to such an extent that they were able to go out with the baby asleep and have a beer. And I looked at this photo and I got hot with rage. The fact that I've never managed to do, never even just managed to go out for a drink with Alfie whilst, we just one drink. It's always been like,
You either like make a huge night of it where where we're babysitting all night, and that you plan everything for that thing. You've never been able to just go out for a casual.
No.
Let's just pop out.
no.
So I was very happy to step in.
Obviously, it didn't work out because it was raining and it wasn't particularly a nice, warm evening. So I was, my feet did take a long time to de-thaw. It took a couple of days actually, but I did drink alcohol, and it was quite nice.
What'd you have?
I had. Even walking into this pub in the outside area, I just felt like I was going to get told off for being a
you had
fraud.
imposter syndrome.
Yeah, and obviously,
I'll have a drink of alcohol, please.
so everybody out there, like, they got greeted by the maitre d' or whatever, but we just managed to go in, and I was like, I never even get looked at in a pub. It's like I'm invisible. Anyway, I chose badly. I had a Bloody Mary.
What? You had a Bloody Mary? Are you a psychopath?
I've never had a Bloody Mary in my life.
Is that how unused you were to literally just being out and having choice?
I was so confused. I was like, Bloody Mary.
Bloody Marys look disgusting. Dégoûtant.
But it was horrible, so I didn't really drink
Why are
it.
you drinking? Why are you drinking that? Why are you drinking some sleep?
And then I had an Aperol Spritz.
An Aperol Spritz. That's
And
a
then
bit
I
more
got
like it.
very drunk very quickly.
On those two drinks.
No, I
On
didn't
those
even
two
have.
child drinks.
No, I didn't even have any of the Bloody Mary. I had a sip. So I just had an Aperol Spritz and then a sip of another Aperol Spritz, and I was hammered.
Wow.
Couldn't stop shivering.
You are a fun gal to take out, aren't
Alfie
you?
had a good time. But Alfie has this awful thing now, which I think is a lockdown hangover of drinking as much as he can within an hour because he feels like he's got to, break free from something. So he drank a lot within the hour. And
Well, I think also because there's less like activity and like stuff to stimulate us. One way to get stimulated is to drink and become intoxicated. So it makes sense that you would like squeeze that all into 1 hour in order to just like get more effects from how fun it is, the feeling of getting drunk. But
so he was having a great time.
he was having an old blast. You were hammered off your tits.
I had to go to Brewdog and eat a shared portion of buffalo cauliflower.
Sounds like a wild night out in the town. Sounds like you painted it red.
The sweet potato fries highlight my evening.
And I was looking after your kids, and I just was like, I've looked after them. This guy, he was so sweet up until the moment that you left. He was very, very sweet in the bath and everything like that. But then the second it got down to it, and he was asleep, and the kids were kind of getting into bed and everything like that, he started howling with like an inhuman level scream.
He's very loud.
And it wouldn't stop. I walked him up and down the stairs, trying to make him feel better. And it was just when you guys finally came back, seeing you, he just felt so completely different.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful to see your connection. It
Yeah,
made
no,
me feel
'cause I
very
don't-
bad about my capabilities, but
No,
it
it's
was
just
so
because
beautiful.
lately he's now getting to the age where he knows I'm his mum, whereas before he was too young to, so he wouldn't have done that a couple of months ago, and he didn't. But he now it's only when that kind of thing happens that I do think, oh, good.
He loves me.
All of the work I'm putting in is actually I should be his favorite.
Yeah.
If
So
I'm
now-
not his favorite, that would be perverse of him. Yeah, and he is the loudest baby.
He's the loudest baby in the world.
And so I've never bought stuff for babies before. With Donnie and Margot, I just kind of, we just didn't buy very much. With 10, I have been a sucker for the toys which do make life easier. So the bouncy thing. Oh my God, that has changed my life. He's basically like a trampoline with all of these, things around him that he can pull and play with, and he goes crazy in it.
He loves that.
Just
I would love that.
it's
I would
worth
have an
it.
adult version of that, to be honest.
But it's not like it was that expensive, and I thought, oh no, I can't spend £60 on something because that's too much money. And it's like it's been worth the money, just in oh my God, just
Every
the
respect.
best use of money I've ever done.
Wow.
Ever done. Does that make sense as a sentence?
Ever
Doesn't really
spent.
matter now. I'm not writing a book anymore. So fuck it. Fuck it.
How do you think you want to spend the summer?
So
the
I
book's
wanna
going to be out. Like, what are you going to do? Where are you going to be? You're going to go on holiday? Are you gonna...
Well, I think I am going to go on holiday.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I think we're going to go abroad as a family. Which
Does that include me?
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It could actually, but I don't think so. Anyway, I think that we might go abroad. I think that would be a huge thing for me because it just stresses me out even saying the sentence. But we might go abroad if we're allowed.
What are the kids like, though, when they go away somewhere?
Well, no, the only experience we've ever had is when Donnie was 18 months. I was 6 months pregnant with Margot. We went to this place where they had it was like a house within. Okay, 10, you're gonna have to be quiet now.
Shush.
Yeah. So
Wow.
the only time we've ever been away is when Donnie was 18 months, Margot was 6 months. We went to stay in a house in Greece where it had a gym, like for the complex, a gym that had barely really been used, and they had a water fountain. You know how you get in an office, like you can just get it's a water dispenser thing.
Yeah.
And you know how some of them have a hot, but it's never hot water.
Yeah, why would you... Yeah, and what was
It's like
the
a
hot-
red, blue or red.
Oh, I guess for like tea or coffee.
Okay, well that's 2 steps on from where I was at. I was like, oh, it's never hot.
Yeah.
Donnie, 18 months, tiptoes up to it. I was like, oh, we're just doing a walk before we have bath time and bedtime. I was trying to stimulate him. And he puts the hot water one on, obviously, and it goes just straight over his hand. His skin on his index finger just comes off. It very nearly could have gone on his face and just ruined his face. And I was heavily pregnant. We were down half a cliff, and I had to just start wailing, screaming. Alfie couldn't hear me. Walk all the way back up this cliff to get back to the house. We were at the top of a mountain, so the nearest A&E in Greece was like an hour drive away. It was possibly the worst experience, one of the worst experiences of my life. And it was all my fault because I just thought, oh, it didn't look like hot water. It was a water dispenser. I just don't know.
If it didn't have a sign saying caution, very hot water,
didn't
it's
have a
not your
caution.
fault. Yeah, but it's...
I mean, it might have, but I didn't see it.
Yeah. It's one of those
I
situations.
don't think it did actually, and it just looked like cold water. And you know how we had just been at a pond and he'd been playing with water, so he'd just seen this water. Anyway, it was just a nightmare.
Oh my God.
So that was the only family holiday experience we've had, and I have literally been burnt from that.
And I guess we've taken them to Edinburgh.
And he got burnt there.
He got burnt in Edinburgh too. He pulled a kettle of hot water onto his chest.
Yeah, so Donnie has got bad luck with burning, and it still is traumatic for me to even think about. So the idea of going away and not being in control of like appliances and stuff is just terrifying.
But I think it comes down to the fact that because you just have a mindset where you have to do a million things all the time, and you're constantly trying to work to be the best mother that you can and work to be the best professional that you can and do all of this stuff. Going on holiday with them feels like you're saying, I deserve to have a nice time and a relaxing time with my family. I deserve to just be able to not have all of the responsibilities that I normally have at home. That's like that's quite a big step.
Oh no, but I'm not thinking of a holiday as time off. A holiday is work. For if I was going away with the kids, a holiday. I mean,
you don't get to relax.
That would not be So Alfie does think the idea is absolutely stupid.
Really,
but I still like the idea of giving them a holiday.
Yeah,
so like they could learn to swim and stuff. I do feel like if I don't teach them to ride a bike and learn to swim this year, I have failed. Just because they are now getting to the age where they really should have been doing that for a few years.
What? Surely Margot's
ride a bike. They need to learn to swim and ride a bike.
Yeah, but like
I think they're two skills you have to give your children, aren't they?
Okay, well we can start to do that.
Yeah,
we can do it.
Now that swimming pools are open, gonna teach them to swim.
Exactly.
Another terrifying thing to do for your kids. Just awful.
I hated swimming at school. My God.
I was a county swimmer, so athlete. Sorry, athlete. Still got the shoulders.
You really do, actually. Thank God I didn't get into swimming.
Yesterday, as a family, we watched diving. Tom Daly was diving. We just happened to like switch over the channel.
Is he still doing it?
He's still doing it.
Good for him.
He's doing that. He came second. Anyway, we were watching these swimmers' bodies, and Donnie was watching it, and I kind of was, is this appropriate to be showing diving to a 6-year-old boy? But he was like, Mummy, I want to learn to dive.
No.
I think Donnie will be I now kind of just can see it. He's going to be a diver.
That would be bonkers.
What do you need body type?
You just need just a very tiny body. Tiny body.
Keira Knightley, ideal diver. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the aerodynamics of that frame? Oh God!
Talking of Keira Knightley, just because I always lump in Keira Knightley with Sienna Miller.
Nice.
The Channel 4 premiere of American Woman, which is a film that Sienna Miller did a few years ago. The weirdest casting in history.
I'm convinced that Sienna Miller isn't an actress. Okay? And the 2 films that she's ever been in or whatever, it was just like a favour, you know? Like, I think that she's a professional socialite. Because I've never seen...
She has been in lots of films.
No, she hasn't.
A Star is Born? Oh, no, that's not her. Stardust.
She was in Stardust.
Stardust?
She was actually pretty good.
Stardust. Okay, that's a Sienna Miller film.
She's in Layer Cake. She's in Stardust.
She's in the one with Keira Knightley where she was playing Dylan Moran's husband. No, Dylan Thomas.
The one where Bradley Cooper's a chef.
Was she in that?
Burnt or something.
No.
No, she wasn't in that.
No. This is all just...
Well,
she doesn't work as an actress. She's not an actress.
She was.
Alfie, that's how she met Jude Law. That's how she met Jude Law. So she has been in. I
think that she is like.
She's been in over 10 films.
She has shares in Heat magazine, or she did when it was like 10 years ago, because she would be in it every single issue, like huge spreads of her walking around Notting Hill, or like her meeting the babysitter or the babysitter.
She didn't choose that. She just was so fashionable.
But
it chose her.
But it wasn't. She didn't have enough of a film profile, I think, to warrant that amount of magazine attention. And she's a great example of one of those people that you know a lot about and you know exactly who she is, but you can't quite place her in anything, you know? And I'm not saying that to be rude to her. Obviously, it sounds kind of rude, but she's a beautiful person.
I think it's a really funny theory, but you have to remember at the time, it was Heat magazine's peak, and Jude Law had just split up with the mother of his 4 children.
Did they have 4 kids together?
Sadie Frost and Jude Law have 4 kids. And do you know that the oldest kid, Rafferty, is now... Honestly, it's almost like he's identical to Jude Law, but
He's
just
my
a younger
age.
version. And he's in films now. And yeah, so he had just left Sadie, or they had broken up amicably or whatever. And it was a huge thing that he had started going out with this beautiful, incredibly fashionable, very cool Notting Hill Brigade type woman, and also. Has there ever been a woman more primed to be famous? She's naturally thin.
Yeah.
It looks like. You know, she's beautiful. She's well connected. Has there ever been? And also, my agent was her agent, and he told me that she just walked into the office and said, "I want an agent," and she got an agent.
Wow.
Can you believe that? Probably with her dog.
That's some star power.
Probably in one of those disc belts. Just sashayed into United Agents.
Oh my God, yeah, those big old like metal medallion belts that she always used to wear.
Yeah.
You had a couple of them, didn't you?
Did. She was the inspiration for my fake tan phase.
Oh yeah. And the big scarves, the giant scarves.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, I have a lot to not thank Sienna Miller for. But yeah, so Heat magazine was just she was fodder for them.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't realize that Jude Law had 4 kids.
Yeah, she had
before.
kind of like a tabloid beginning because of it looked like Jude Law had left Sadie for Sienna, but actually it's not that. And then just think about how much shit Jude Law has had to go through. Like Jude Law, no, I mean shit has done. How much shit he has done. Okay.
Really well put together. Well
Thank
done.
you. He cheated on Sienna with the nanny.
Yeah.
Like, and he's able to just be like,
Still work, still do all of this shit.
he's gone bald.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like a leading man.
Yeah.
If a woman, like,
If a woman,
ages even a year,
Yeah.
she's like, nope,
Yeah.
you're 40, no.
Exactly. Even the fact that I was just so dismissive about Sienna Miller, despite the fact that she's like this beautiful woman, and yet with men, they can do one thing and you're like, oh my God, he's amazing, isn't he? So it just shows the double standard, doesn't it? Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sienna.
Yeah, sorry. No, I'm fully Sienna. I'm pro
You had
Sienna.
her exact hair. You had her exact
when
hair.
it was the hair modelling fiasco.
No, when you had like those kind of like beige blonde highlights
yeah.
and it kind of always looked a bit messy. My goodness, you're a noisy boy
I think
today.
we've just spent this entire episode talking about Sienna Miller.
Yeah, we really have. We really, really bloody have.
So do you have any horrendous or positive photo shoot experiences?
I don't really have any positive ones. I remember after doing this film, Tale of Tales, when I was like 18 or 19, they got me to do some photo shoots and stuff like that when it was sort of coming out. And it was always for like relatively small publications, but quite like high fashion, arty ones. And I don't know, they have a certain look to them. The kind of like young actresses that they tend to use, they just suit the clothes that they give them. You know, like it's made by like a student at a fashion school, and it's like I've got a giant collar, and you're wearing loads of like statement jewelry, and you know they do like big crazy makeup on you, and it really really works for some people. I got there, terrible acne, wasn't like looking my best. I had really weirdly long hair at the time, and I just wasn't like the typical.
Sorry. No, it's fine. Bebe's talking about her photo shoots, so be quiet.
And I didn't have the typical, body type at all. So then when they kind of stuffed me into, in fact, oh my God, yeah. For one of them, they wanted the theme of the photographs to be the ugly duckling or something like that. So I start off as like a little shrub thing, and then I grow, and then I suddenly become like a swan at the end. And the photos, they are not good. Like, they use very, very harsh black and white lighting, big white chiffon things coming out. The makeup they used was too heavy. They always use too heavy, dark makeup on me. It doesn't look very good at all. And then they just didn't, like, my acne was still so visible and stuff. And because they were using such harsh fashion lighting, it made it look so much worse. They could have used nice soft lighting, but they didn't at all. Anyway, they then made me do like an interview and like ask me all this stuff, and then they didn't include it in the final issue, I think, because the photos just didn't look right. I looked ridiculous, but I remember how completely uncomfortable and invalid I felt then, because I knew I looked awful in these clothes. I was looking at myself in the mirror and I was like, this looks fucking dumb, doesn't it? But then I thought to myself, no, they're going to get me to sit all pretty, and they've put some lotion on my legs to make them shiny, and I'm going to look like Kendall Jenner. I'm going to look like whoever, at that point I thought was cool. And then they turned out, and I just don't suit that kind of really high fashion stuff at all.
You have to trust your instinct, because if you don't feel like you look particularly good and you don't like what they've done with your eye makeup, say,
You
like,
should
you
just
just
tell
got to
them.
say something. Like, I now say whenever I do anything, I'm like, I don't wear black eyeliner or black mascara. I just don't do that.
Yeah. I also remember another one of them in that same like kind of period of time where I was doing a couple of them. I met this photographer at the BFI South Bank Centre, and we were going to do some outside photographs. And I should have taken it as a slight warning sign when he said, "Oh, and I do makeup too." And at one of the tables in the coffee shop downstairs, surrounded by lots of other people of the general public, he sat down, got like a torch or something, and started doing my makeup. And it felt really heavy on my face, but he was like, God, wow, this looks amazing. Yeah, this looks amazing. And bear in mind, he'd asked me to wear my own clothes. So I was wearing like a floaty white top and a big pink skirt. And then when he finally turned the mirror towards me, and I couldn't respond because I was surrounded by everyone, and there were people outside, and it was right in the middle of the day, right in the middle of everyone. And he had done like a giant, unblended brown smoky eye and loads of face makeup. I just wanted to burst into tears. It was just so embarrassing, and I didn't have anyone there to kind of like tell me, you don't have to wear that if you don't want to. And so then we walked up onto the top of the South Bank Centre, and there were all these like little plants and things, and he just kept getting me to do stuff like, okay, sit on the floor, you know, just do something with your hands, get a piece of hair, put it in front of your face, and just blow the hair off your face. And all of the photos, again, they're awful. They are awful. I look like someone who is making fun of what an actressy type photo shoot is. And considering how much I loved that project, how at that point I was still so fragile and vulnerable in terms of like how I viewed myself. And then the couple of years that came after that period of working experience were really hard, and as an actress I felt really, really bad about myself. Those photo shoot experiences did not help at all, because they kind of confirmed in my head, you are not the right kind of person to be doing this, because a more fashionable person or a more kind of like skinny person or more beautiful person would have looked amazing in those shoots. They would have been included in the fucking magazine. Like,
I just don't think it's worth it.
And I just think it's so ridiculous how that sort of stuff is so unrelated to the actual work. And it just felt like it kind of made a mockery of like some of the stuff I was doing.
People do, you know, actresses who don't get work, and then they do higher publicity, and then they just do photo shoots for the sake of photo shoots. And then people think, oh, they look like they're doing well. They did a photo shoot.
Exactly.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put the baby down.
Also, I've just learned to be less precious about photographs, because especially when you're taking headshots and stuff, it's so easy to think, oh my God, I think I actually look really beautiful. And then you see them and it's so horrifying that you have the face that you have and you just have to accept it.
Yeah, well, I did when I was editing Sunrise the last 2 weeks. I wish I wanted to film it all basically from one shot, from the straightforward one. And then when I saw the edit, and they'd done some really beautiful camera setups for, you know, 3 camera setup for different angles to make it creative, so that someone who's watching it is, you know, can keep watching and be interested for an hour of just me talking. Yeah. But I watched it, and my initial response was, nope, get rid of that side shot, get rid of that side shot, because, you know, I've got this thing about this side of my face being, you know, horrific compared to this side of the face, which is, you know, everyone says, oh, that you're completely symmetrical. I'm not. But anyway, so I found myself writing the same note over and over again. I was watching it, you know, going out of my mind late into the night when I should have been asleep, just being like, take that shot out, take that shot out, take that shot out, because it's the side of my face I don't like. And just realizing by the end of the editing process, actually, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the vanity.
It doesn't matter.
Like, you're not even a vain person, but we all have a certain degree of vanity, and especially when you're doing a public-facing profession, life is just so much easier if you just let that stuff go. Because people view you as a multi-dimensional thing. They're not seeing that one angle of you that's maybe not the most flattering, thinking, oh my God, she's ugly.
Exactly.
You know? It's just you in your head.
But in the same way with doing, you know, what we're on number 23 or something.
Yeah.
It's like, it's amazing, because at the beginning of this process of doing the podcast, I think we were so critical of our voices, or the way we looked, or what we were saying, and that not being interesting enough or clever enough or well put together enough. And it's just so nice to have gone on this. I don't think we would have intended to do a podcast, and I'm just so happy that we have, because stories that we've told, you know, they don't seem like they're important stories at all, but we've had such a nice response to some of them, and actually they're now on record for us as sisters, and we can remember things like, you know, the director story from last week, or, you know, some of the stuff we talked about in our
Cowabunga. Chill out,
bonus bitching episodes, where we've kind of, you know, been really open about industry things that have happened that haven't been that brilliant. It's nice to kind of give those moments weight and say, oh, they mattered. They were things that happened to us, and they've taught us something.
Yeah. It's very, very validating as a person to like share stuff that to you, maybe you say it, and then in your head you're like, oh God, that was stupid. That doesn't make any sense, or that's not of any validity. Then to have people watch it and be like, wow, I really enjoyed that. Even if they just enjoyed the rambling sort of conversations that we sometimes have. It's so nice. And even though we obviously are sometimes quite like specific, because we're talking about industry type stuff or coming from a big family or anything like that, it's really nice to know that like the human experience can be quite actually universal.
And I think a lot of our audience have sisters.
Yeah.
And that's just so nice to think that the way we talk to each other, and, you know, being quite bitchy with each other sometimes and harsh with each other is kind of something that is really relatable.
Yeah. Well, it's just it's honesty, isn't it? Like
It's honesty.
it's just
It's
radical,
just radical
honesty,
honesty, you know,
okay?
brutal
Call us
honesty.
Instagram activists because we are being radical.
And we're really excited to do our live one.
Oh, big time.
We're deciding our bitch list.
Oh yeah. I think it's going to be extensive. We're going to maybe cover some of our greatest hits in more detail, but we're also
name and shame.
We might do a couple name and shames, and we're definitely going to talk about how Jessie cheated on her A levels. It's probably not as exciting a story as we think it's going to be, but it's definitely going to be a bit of fun.
And we won't have the baby here making
definitely
snoring
won't have
nows.
the baby.
Nows?
He's just making a bit of noise.
Noise.
It's going to be great.
So the 29th of May, if you want to come and see us, there's still a vast amount of tickets available.
Oh yeah.
So we'll be socially distanced.
Do us a favour.
Oh my God, he's fallen over. Oh my God. You're right there.
Rock the boat, baby. That's what he was doing. We're not finished now.
And yes. I think what we should do for the live podcast is we should wear ridiculous outfits.
That's what I was thinking.
High fashion.
Oh my God, let's dress like the people in the photo shoot try and make us wear.
I don't know what sound that was, sorry. High fashion shoot.
Because obviously right now you're looking at us. If you're watching us, if you're listening to us, you can just imagine how amazing we look. But if you're watching us, you're thinking, wow, these are two chic, fashionable women who clearly aren't wearing clothes that they've had for maybe 10 years. They buy things that are on trend.
He's trying to get the snappy, sorry. What are you doing?
Imagine if you'd had one to the baby. That could have gone so bad. I just slapped Jessie's ass.
And I liked it.
And she liked it.
See?
She did like it. That's what we need to learn, isn't it? That's a bit of fun.
It reminds me of this fight I had with Alfie once. Because we've been joking and we were having a nice time, and then I leant over him because we were having a nice time. He thought it'd be funny to slap my ass like affectionately.
Yeah. Did it not go down well?
So wrong.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Did he do it too hard?
He did it too hard.
Oh, you got a great ass to slap, to be fair. You really do.
But Alfie did it slightly too hard, and I chose to make a big deal about it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was like, that's not okay.
Yeah.
When it was actually, I did quite enjoy it, but I thought that I just got to make a point here.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
Look at mummy here.
I don't know if I can have that, and please don't comment like that's not okay. We were having that it was like a sexual thing.
Yeah,
so
they have a consensual sexual time, and it's great.
Yeah. The babies were asleep.
Exactly.
It was fine.
Exactly. And me and Jessie have a consensual sisterly relationship.
Yeah, you can hit me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Her ass is mine.
So the 29th of May at 2 p.m. So it's a matinee. You know, what else are you going to be doing?
Go on, get a coffee beforehand, get a dinner after.
You know, and we're going to be doing, Bebe's almost finished editing special sunrise documentary, which is actually probably better than the actual show.
It's not.
So no, you can watch that. But anyway, thank you for listening and watching and
watching
being so
and
supportive.
And just being so supportive and amazing.
We do read all your comments, so you know, we have one person
who keeps disliking
us.
Yeah. I think that this person has
I'd
it
almost,
out for us.
you know, if there were 10 dislikes, I'd be like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah,
but there's just one.
It's just this one guy. What have we done to you?
Maybe it's Alfie.
That would be funny. He's getting you back for getting so angry about slapping your ass.
Thank you for watching and listening. Say bye-bye.